Can you just tell us why you want to talk at this stage?
One, it's the end of my career, and I won't be here again next season. So if I can pass on any sort of help or experience to people that are, whether they're 19 years old and just coming into the game or been there for 10, 15 years like I have, if someone comes forward, steps forward and not takes a stand, but puts a hand up and says, look, it's you can get help and it's not that bad, even though you might think otherwise at the time, So if I can help in any way, then why not?
So can you tell us how long you've been struggling?
Well, I suppose looking back retrospectively, I can see periods of during my career where I was probably struggling and didn't realise it. So if I'm honest, I've only had, in inverted commas, help for about 3 or 4 years. But looking back over my career and places I've been and situations I've been through, then it's likely that I may have needed help for maybe 10 years, maybe longer. But there is such a massive stigma about this thing, not just in rugby but in society in general, but especially in rugby and in such a a hard sport where you wouldn't necessarily talk about your feelings with your best mate. It's seen as a weakness, so it's tough. And I genuinely did think, someone's depressed or anxious, well, just smile. God, it's not hard, is it? You put a smile on your face. But then, and that's the way I thought. But then you go through situations and you realise, actually, it's really tough. It was really tough, and there were some very dark moments, and lots of tears, which you try and, I think anyone tries to hide away from, and it's difficult with 35 rugby blokes running around the rugby pitch, and quite often, never in a game did I feel it affect me, but during training sessions and things, definitely affected me, and I had to try and have some self-resolve not to sort of break down and run off and pretend to go for a toilet or something and take myself away from things just to sort myself out. But I didn't volunteer the information at first with the club doctor. The club doctor came to me. I'm pretty sure it was 2009, pre-season camp in Portugal, and I was just mucking about on a table tennis table, and he just took me to one side, sat me down and said, I think you need help, I think you've got a problem. Just as simply as that, and I was straight away on the back foot. What do you mean? And he explained what he'd seen, and I broke down. So which wasn't not something I'm proud of, but it does happen, and but I'm thankful that he did, because I clearly needed help, and he gave me the help that I needed.
In some ways, was it a bit of a relief? Did he say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Depression, or what did he say?
Yeah, it was depression. Although over the last 3 years, it's I've gone through various different things, but anxiety is another problem. But yeah, at the time it was depression, and so he gave me the help I really needed, but it definitely helped. God, did it help?
It's almost like an outpouring of.
It's an outpouring of emotion. It's exactly what it is, and you can just, because it just bottles up inside. It really does, and especially because you can't tell you can't feel like you can't tell anyone because of the. Because it's the boys, you don't tell the boys. So it was a real snowball. Just get it out, and, verbal diarrhea, and it just had to come out. But look at me now. And I feel a lot better. So, and in a difficult period of my life actually, because it's the end of my career and I'm starting something afresh. So I'm really conscious about noticing any of the signs that I know myself. It's not me, you know what I mean? It's just I'm not quite right here. So, big upheavals in life can trigger things, and I'm about to experience that. So I'm conscious of if anything starts to go. If I start to go backwards in any way, then I'll be knocking on the doctor's door again.
I suppose that career transition, then, that could be a...
it's a big thing, yeah. It's the unknown. It's 2 months away now, and it's not quite head in the sand. It's around the corner, but you almost want it to be just get on with it. So it is a big upheaval, a big transition, because I've done this since I was 19 years of age. So it's been 18 years now. So it's going to be difficult.
Do you think sportsmen perhaps are more susceptible because they're so driven, because you're always on that balance on the edge, because it's good tension, good pressure to perform, but then you can just go that little bit too far and it then goes into stress?
I suppose so. There is a lot of pressure, and things can snap. And your career is so fragile. I mean, I'm really fortunate that I've gone through my career with not too many serious injuries so far. But there are guys that have to retire really early, and that can be really hard for someone with so much potential, thinking they're going to make it and play as long as they like, and then one day it's gone. So that could be tough. That's why you really do need I'm going to plug the RPA now, but you do need the RPA, and you do need people around you that can help you through your whole of your career, but also through the transitions within that career, whether it's through injury or a new career, bereavement, whatever happens, that they can help you through.
You doing this, Freddie Flintoff did a documentary, didn't he?
Yeah.
There was obviously Marcus Trescothick was one of the first sportsmen.
Mike Yardy as well.
Yeah. How do you think that's going to help some of those quieter guys that probably...
Yeah, I'm not anywhere near as as famous as those guys, but it helps that those sorts of people come out and say these things, because there is a stigma, we all know it, and the more people that come forward with their experiences, if they want to do that sort of thing, then I think it will help established players, and also lets the younger guys coming through the ranks know what the pitfalls are and what could happen.